You're listening to Pombo and Peter's Picks, the home of your favorite sports betting podcast. Presented by The Daily Goat.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Pombo and Peter's Picks. I'm Jason Pombo, joined as always by Peter Alves. Peter, how are we doing today?
Good. It's getting to the point of the year where the NFL is starting to drag, so that's fun.
It's your favorite time of the year, Peter. NFL season gets to, I don't want to say the twilight because we're not there yet, but we're rapidly approaching the season, I should say the weeks in which everybody is constantly going to look at the playoff seedings, who's on the bubble, who's in, that sort of thing. In my opinion, this week started it, and it's going to continue for the rest of the year, Peter, so gear up. All right, Peter, so let's talk about how we did last week. Peter, I went 3-2 last week. I finally was above 500. I know it took me like 2 or 3 weeks after I kind of went on a little bit of a downswing, but I think it was capped off by my good win on Monday night. I'll save that for the end. So for my wins, I had the Steelers plus 2.5 against the Saints. And Pittsburgh, they won that game outright. And they won that game. I don't want to call it in dominant fashion, but they won the game by 10 points, I think.
Yeah.
I also had 20-10. I also had the Bucs minus 2.5 right against the Seahawks. Got a little hairy at the end, but Tom Brady and company hung on. And then my other win was the Commanders plus 11 against the Eagles on Monday Night Football. The Commanders won that game outright. That was a big W there. And my losses, my premium pick, of course, was wrong again for the 6th consecutive week. I had the Rams minus 3. In my defense, Peter, Matt Stafford, I anticipated on him playing because we recorded this earlier in the week. That did not come to fruition. So, hey, I'll take my L, though. My other incorrect pick was the Raiders minus 6, and we'll talk about the Raiders later, but bloodbath for the Raiders down there in Vegas. Can't get any lower than that. So, 3-2 on the week, 0-1 on my premium.
So I was 2-4. I lost my premium. So we won on the Panthers plus 3. I told you. It's pretty easy.
Did call that, yeah.
It's pretty easy picking Thursday games. I don't know what year. And then we won on the Bucs minus 2.5 in Germany. Hell yeah. And then we lost Bears minus 2 premium. Thanks a lot, kicker. I don't even know what your name is, but thanks a lot. And Cowboys minus 5. That's an absolute joke. They were leading 14 points, I think.
Yeah.
Second half. And then 49ers minus 7. Almost. But
1 point shy, right?
Yep.
Damn. It's all right, Peter. I mean, you still have a better record than me, so you can take that to the bank.
Oh, do I really?
Yeah, I believe so. I'm 23-27, I think.
Oh, cool. I'm 25-20.
Yeah, you get a 2-game lead over me. All right, so Peter, I think it's probably a good thing to start talking about that Bucs Seattle game in Germany. I want to talk about it for a couple of reasons. One being, did you see that environment down there in Germany? It was 10 times better the environment than the games that were played in London for the past couple of years, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the players might have complained about the field. I don't really know. But yeah, the fans were absolutely electric. They were like storming the field like 2 hours. I saw a video on Twitter. They were like storming the field like 2 hours after the game was over. I was like, dang. They're definitely going to go back anywhere.
Like, I thought the environment was crazy. The fans were so loud. I don't want to call it like a Super Bowl environment, but it was a playoff environment for sure. I thought the crowd was fantastic, and I think the NFL should absolutely continue to play these games in Germany. And honestly, I think that, like I said before, I think the German crowd was better than what they had in England and Mexico City, which they've had a couple times as well. But the Bucs ended up winning that game 21-16. Tom Brady, of course, makes history. He's the first quarterback to win in Germany. And Peter, he's also the first quarterback to win on 3 continents. Fun fact.
Oh, because he was in Mexico, yeah?
Yes. Yep. And so how many countries? Because he's won in England as well.
So 4?
Yeah. He's Tom Brady making history every stripe of the way. Peter, the Bucs were up in this game, and it looked like they had the game put away. Brady threw a bad interception, and Geno got a little hot at the end. He almost came back, but he came just short. And Tom Brady, of course, moved to 4-0 overseas. So, what was your takeaway in that game?
Yeah, I mean, Brady kind of looked good. They have no run game again. Leonard Fournette is supposed to be back after their bye. Didn't look good. I mean, that O-line still looks terrible. The division is what it is. I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, and then the other side, the Seahawks have to be worried about the 49ers. but I think they'll make a wild card spot, especially
Yeah.
with the games later that we're going to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. And I this was a game that Tampa Bay had to have. They were up. They came in as a favorite. I understand Seattle has a better record, but I felt like Tampa Bay needed this game. They need to string some wins together, and they did that in this game. Tom Brady did enough. The offense as a whole, the offensive line is still shaky. You know what I mean? As Peter, you just described. But yeah, it was a big win for Tampa Bay, and I think they have a clear hold on the NFC South, and I think they're going to have a clear hold for the rest of the season. Like I said, for the last couple of weeks, Tampa's going to win 10, 9. They're going to go 9-8, 10-7, something like that. They're going to be the 4 seed in the NFC, and who knows how everything's going to shake out in the NFC. I believe it is still a conference that is wide open. There is not much clarity, in my opinion. There's a couple teams that may stand out at the top, but there's just seems to be a lot of congestion, and I think Tampa Bay will be there when it's all said and done in terms of teams that have an opportunity to compete in the NFC Championship.
Yeah, I didn't know where I saw this. It might have been on ESPN. But when was the year that? Oh wait, I think it was like when they lost to the Eagles. When the Patriots lost to the Eagles, like Brady can face like Daniel Jones and then like crap, like Kirk Cousins and then
Yeah, I mean,
something like that. Just like keep going.
you want to play the string here for a second. Tom Brady, let's say in the first round of the 4 seed, they're going to play the 5 seed. Let's say it's the New York Giants and Daniel Jones, right? In the wild card. Brady, of course, has the advantage there in terms of quarterback play. Let's say you get that W. Then you could be facing a divisional matchup against the NFC North champs, which is Kirk Cousins. And Tom Brady, in my opinion, he's clearly superior than Kirk Cousins, and Kirk Cousins, who is a notorious choker. I mean, it's not crazy to say the Bucs could win that game, and then all of a sudden you blink and he's in the NFC title game against Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. Like it is. There's different scenarios that present themselves that are favorable for Tom Brady and the Bucs. Is it going to happen? We'll see.
And 2 things to note, after this game, there's no odds. I was just looking it up. There are no odds for rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year. So that's probably bad. And then
Really?
rip to Giselle and Brady.
Oh yeah. R.I.P. She got a new man, son, according to TMZ.
Yeah.
Also, Peter, I want to correct myself here before I sound like an idiot. Tom Brady is 4-0 in 4 different countries. I don't know. I didn't mean to say continents because Mexico is in North America. I didn't mean to say continents. I meant countries. So I apologize for that. All right, Peter, let's move on to the Cardinals and the Rams. It was an NFC West showdown in which the Rams have practically owned the Cardinals for a long time. Peter, I think I picked the Rams ever since they've started playing the Cardinals for the last 2 years, and it's worked out favorably. We all remember what happened in that wild card game between the Cardinals and Rams last year. The Rams absolutely owned them. So again, Peter, as I described earlier in the podcast, I picked the Rams to win this game with the knowledge of Matthew Stafford as a starting quarterback. Of course, Stafford was not, and it was John Wolford. And Kyler Murray was also out. Colt McCoy was the starting quarterback for the Cardinals. So it was a game of backup quarterbacks, if you paid money to see that. And the Cardinals won the game 27-17. But the lead takeaway was Cooper Kupp. He left the game with the high ankle sprain. He's going to miss the next month to 6 weeks. So that's a significant injury for the Rams. And looks like the Rams season could slowly be spiraling out of control.
Yeah, the Rams season's over. I mean, as we saw throughout the whole season, I mean, Cooper Kupp is 75-80% of their offense. They can't run the ball. They can't block for anybody. Their defense is not that good either. What was Hopkins on Ram? I didn't even watch any of this game.
Yes.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Was Ramsey on Hopkins the whole time? Or
for most of the game, most of the game.
Oh, then he got burned. But yeah, I mean, rip to the Rams. I mean, good story, Super Bowl hangover for sure, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of things with the Rams. It's something that I've been talking about for the last, not in this podcast. I mean, it's before we started doing this podcast. I just thought the Rams' ability to kind of pass on picks, it was a pass on draft picks, would eventually catch up to them. And I think that's caught up to them on the offensive line. And I think that stemmed from their issues this season. I think their offensive line has been abysmal since day one. They haven't been able to get that under control. They got their quarterback killed, Matt Stafford, with a concussion, who has regressed from his elbow injury. I think that's been apparent.
Was that in practice? I don't even...
No, that's just something that I guess he's kind of had to deal with in the offseason. And
no, I mean the concussion.
I'm not sure.
That came out of nowhere.
I'm not sure. You're right, because that kind of came out of nowhere on Wednesday. So I'm not really sure when that kind of started, but if it was in practice or the game, whatever you want to call it, he missed the game. He could miss next week as well. And I understand Super Bowl hangover is a real thing, but the Rams, their expectations, they're a team that should have been vying for the NFC West, and they're just not. And I understand it's been a lot of injuries, but I think it's been the offensive line. I think that's the main catalyst.
And you can't kid yourself on Kyler Murray. He wanted to be out. MW2's been out for like 3 weeks.
Yeah, he's got to get those. He's got a prestige. Is that still a thing? Prestige?
I think. Or get those gold guns, I guess.
Get those gold guns. All right, Peter. Let's talk about the Lions and the Bears, right? Talk about Noah's Lions of Rough in the Basket. Shout out Noah. The Detroit Lions, they won a road game here. And this was a game they really had no business winning. They trailed in the game by a large margin. And they ended up coming from behind and they won 31-30 over the Chicago Bears. And you could argue, Peter, that the Bears kicker cost them, like you talked about when you were earlier in the podcast. They missed that extra point in the fourth quarter. That was a crucial miss. But you got to give it to Jared Goff. He executed an important fourth quarter drive. And Jared Goff, who I think we both can agree that he's an okay quarterback, like whatever you want to call him, average, below average, whatever you want to
Hey,
give
I was
him.
touting him to win MVP like week 4.
You did. You did give him the MVP crown after week 4. But, like, you put that in a vacuum, like, who is he? He's an average to below average quarterback. He lost, of course, TJ Hawkinson, who was traded to the Vikings. His run game has been been by committee with Williams and DeAndre Swift. And his pass catchers are kind of been guys that are, I don't want to say fringe NFL players. Of course, St. Brown is a legitimate player in this league. But other than that, it's kind of just, And he was able to keep the Lions in this game, and it was a big win. Now, I understand Justin Fields had another good game, but if you're Justin Fields, you got to be kicking yourself that you weren't able to get this W.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Fields, he can run all over the place. He's cemented himself better than Trevor Lawrence in that draft class. I need to get a Justin Fields jersey because, like,
You're sticking your flag in it.
I have Justin Fields and not to play the whatever fantasy card, but I have Jalen Hurts and Justin Fields, and I'm playing Justin Fields over Jalen Hurts. Sorry, but it is what it is. I mean, the Lions defense still looks absolutely terrible. I don't get.
Yeah, it's still the worst in the league.
But the Bears defense is. And what's up with Chase Claypool? He doesn't do anything?
Yeah, I mean, you look at Chase Claypool. I don't know I was curious how he would fit in that offense, and it hasn't really panned out yet. Eventually it could, but mid-season when you come from one offensive style to another, there is some growing pains. And I think we saw it earlier in the year with Justin Fields with Matt Eberflus and that his offensive play caller and all that sort of thing. It's going to take a little bit to getting used to. I think eventually Claypool will eventually find his footing, but right now he just doesn't necessarily have it. And it's been the whole Justin Fields show in Chicago. But it hasn't translated into W's every week yet, but he's clearly taken some big steps here over the last month and a half. I don't even know how long it's been. Month
Yeah, I think it's been like a month.
Yeah, I don't even know.
And where's Jameson Williams? He's just not going to play this year. The long ACL injury.
Yeah, he got hurt, believe, in that championship game in January. So the ACL is typically a 9-month injury, so his recovery time would probably be around this month to next month. But Peter, if you're the Detroit Lions, who are firmly out of playoff position or firmly are playing for the future, I think you give Jameson Williams some time. Let him decide when he's ready to come back. There's no reason to necessarily rush him.
That's fair.
All right, let's move on to my Vegas Raiders, who continue to be a dumpster fire. The Colts, who brought in Jeff Saturday from the ESPN booth to coach this game, defeated Josh McDaniels and the Vegas Raiders 25-20. Peter, my Vegas Raiders fall to 2-7 on the year, and Derek Carr was crying in his post-game press conference. And I'll tell you what, Peter, I picked the Raiders -6 in this game. I felt very confident about this game. If I was still in a survivor pool, I would have picked the Raiders for this. I was that confident in this, despite the fact the Raiders have a very bad record and we're coming into the game with 2 wins. I thought Josh McDaniels and company would scheme it up against Jeff Saturday, fresh out of the ESPN booth. I think the Raiders were thrown a curveball when Matt Ryan was the starting quarterback as opposed to Sam Ehlinger. And I think Matt Ryan played well. That Raiders defense is really, really bad. Really, really bad. I think Derek Carr has continued to not progress. And Peter, my takeaway after this game is Derek Carr is likely gone at the end of the season. I think that's apparent, and I think that's why he's kind of letting the emotion get the best of him on his post-game press conference. And I'm going to continue to say that Josh McDaniels will not get fired at the end of the season. As I've said before, Mark Davis is not going to he's not going to pay two coaches buyouts, specifically McDaniels after one NFL season. Along with Dave Ziegler, the GM who was just brought over as well. And Mark Davis said that in his, I think he talked to the Las Vegas Review-Journal after the game, and he said McDaniels isn't going anywhere despite the fact that it's been a bumpy road in Vegas. So this is rock bottom for the Raiders and McDaniels, Peter. This is my rock bottom. I imagine it really can't get much worse than this, losing to Jeff Saturday. And I'm a big coaching matters guy. Like, I really believe in that stuff, especially in the NFL. And my narrative kind of got dunked on.
Did you let it all out? I'll be real short. Did you let it all out?
Yeah, that's all I got.
That's some good therapy. I mean, the Raiders, absolute dumpster fire. They are the worst team I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, I got another prediction for you, Peter. I got another prediction.
Oh, there you go.
I don't mean to cut you off. That Sunday night game, Patriots Raiders, we will be attending. I think he's gonna get flexed.
Well, I saw it. Well, I mean, we have rooting interest now because we're going to Vegas, but like, I think they can't. I don't even know what they want to flex it to though, because they can't take it from Saturday games, I guess.
I don't know. I don't know. I just.
Oh yeah, for sure that should be flexed.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just not been good. It's just not been good.
I mean, the Raiders, like, yeah, that's really it. Yeah. Darren Waller, I don't think is ever going to play again.
I keep forgetting these takes. Darren Waller is also gone at the end of the year. I think they're, like I said, the couple weeks ago.
He is on IR. He did get placed on.
Yeah, but there's some issues. It's a hamstring. I think the team wants him back. He doesn't want to come back. The team just paid him, so now he's I don't know. There's some disagreement there. And also, the backup tight end they have over there, whose name's escaping, Foster Moreau. I think he can do just enough, and I think he's somebody I think McDaniels might lean on in year two.
And Jeff Saturday doesn't tank. I mean, Matt Ryan is the right quarterback if you want to actually win. Sam Ellinger, although he's a rookie, he looks absolutely lost out there. Jonathan Taylor, welcome back, I guess. But if Jeff Saturday can beat the Eagles after beating Josh McDaniels, give him the coach of the year like tomorrow. Like, it's that easy.
Seriously, and I think if you're Frank Reich, you got to be sitting here like, I got a raw deal here. Now because there was a lot of rumors that owner of the Colts, Jim Irsay, wanted Sam Ellinger to play as opposed to Matt Ryan, and now all of a sudden, Jeff Saturday gets brought in from the ESPN booth, and Matt Ryan's the quarterback, and all of a sudden he looks like he's a functional football player again. Tough. I mean,
on the other side too, Josh McDaniels versus Nathaniel Hackett. Yikes. Like, the loser should just get not let back into the facility.
Loser gets fired.
Yeah.
All right, Peter, let's move on to the Sunday night game, the 49ers Chargers. 49ers ended up winning this game 22-16. Jimmy Garoppolo, he is now has an 11-2 record when he doesn't throw a touchdown pass. I saw this stat on ESPN, and you had this listed in our script, and I think that's absolutely crazy when you really fathom it. I think that shows that how good of an offense Kyle Shanahan runs and how he's able to get the most out of his quarterbacks. But apparently it hasn't really worked out other than when Garoppolo was under center.
Well, I mean, his defense carries him too, though.
Yeah, the defense as well, for sure. And one thing that I want to say about the Chargers side of things, Peter, I know defensively they're really beat up. Of course, Joey Bosa, J.C. Jackson. And offensively, they're beat up as well. Like, we all know that Keenan Allen hasn't played. Williams has been hurt. But I think Justin Herbert has regressed a little bit. It feels like he's not seeing the field as well. I think he's not really taking some chances downfield. And if I'm a Chargers fan, I'm a little bit concerned. However, I do think it's more on the coaches than Herbert and the pieces surrounding Herbert. But,
yeah,
he doesn't look like he's the same player this year to me.
Yeah, I'm not really concerned because it's not really fair if you don't have your wide receiver 1, 2.
No,
like 3. So I think it's fine. You have Austin Eckler, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think when you look at the Chargers and how Brandon Staley runs the team, it's a lot of taking chances on these fourth downs and that sort of thing and going for it. And that doesn't necessarily put the offense in the best part of success, especially when the offensive line is beat up and the skill position players are beat up. And Herbert's beat up himself with, remember that rib injury?
And he got taken out of this game too.
And a rumor there was a head injury, but he passed the concussion protocol and he was good and all. I think he missed the final 3 plays and Chase Daniel played. So, yeah, the Chargers, who are a team that I believe, Peter, correct me if I'm wrong, but you had them in the Super Bowl
Yeah, I have a dumpster fire. Yeah, I have the Chargers Bucs. Yikes.
Yeah, so I think the Chargers are a fringe playoff team. I don't think they're a lock by any stretch, and I think they're lumped in with the middle, with those wild card teams, with the Patriots, with the Jets, with the Bengals, with that sort of grouping.
They do have to fire whoever their doctor is. Well, unless they did it after I assume they did after Tyrod Taylor, but
I don't believe they did.
like
I'm
holy
actually
crap.
100% sure they did not.
It's year after year too. Like just wait like 2 more weeks and Derwin James is gonna go down. It's been way too long for him to still be out there.
Yeah, exactly. And the Chargers are supposedly going to get some of their key skill position players back, but they haven't had anyone yet. So
Good on the 49ers. Watch them to make the Super Bowl.
yeah, 49ers are a sleeper. They're a sleeper team. I think McCaffrey, who we both expected to fit that offense well, he's absolutely done that. He's been a complimentary, and Elijah Mitchell was running the ball hard in this game. And
yeah, if you want to split carries, a good trade. Holy crap.
yeah, but if you like take away the trade, which you can't, but let's just say like you don't look at the trade compensation. McCaffrey and Mitchell, they do complement each other very well. Like, I think the offense runs pretty fluidly. But yeah, when you look at it in a vacuum, you gave up a second, a third, a fourth, and a fifth, and you're going to split carries with Elijah Mitchell, who's missed a large portion of this year. Definitely not ideal if you're John Lynch and company. But Kyle Shanahan continues to win games. I think they are real contenders to win the NFC West, especially if Seattle kind of comes back down to earth, which is entirely possible. So yeah, I'm a fan of this 49ers team, and I think they're a sleeper to make a real run, which is so ironic after their quote unquote franchise quarterback, third overall pick, goes down with that bad injury, season ending, and Jimmy Garoppolo, who wasn't even allowed to practice in training camp with the Niners. Remember, he was on a separate field. He wasn't allowed to practice with the team after the 49ers tried to find a deal, couldn't
When
do
did they
it.
make the Super Bowl? Like 3 years ago?
2019.
So 3 years ago?
Yep, against the Chiefs, they lost that game. But yeah, you look at it since, and they haven't really been able to put things together since. And if Garoppolo can stay healthy, I don't see any reason why they shouldn't be in the playoffs or win a playoff game. Like, I think they're good enough.
For sure. I think they'll surprise some people. Unless they
think so,
move
too.
into the Bucs, to be honest. But
Yeah. All right, let's talk about Fox's game of the week, Peter. And it was tell you what, Packers Cowboys. It feels like every time these teams play each other, there's always some controversy. There's always a great game, and I think this game was right there with one of the best Cowboys Packers games of recent memory. Now, the Cowboys were up in this game, Peter, 28-14. But what does Mike McCarthy do best? He blows leads, and the Packers won the game in overtime, 31-28. I think the big second guess is Mike McCarthy going for it on 4th and 3 at the Packers 35-yard line, as opposed to kicking a 53-yard field goal for the win, not for the win in overtime, but to go up in overtime. The Packers would have a chance to win or go for the tie. And Mike McCarthy went for it and did not get it. And I think that was a complete failure from Mike McCarthy and company, on top of the fact that they blew a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter. Dak Prescott in this game did not necessarily impress me. My guy, Tony Pollard, Peter, continues to show why he's a better running back than Zeke Elliott. And I tell you what, I know the Cowboys defense might get some crap for allowing 17 unanswered points, but that Cowboys offense to me underperformed late in the game. And Mike McCarthy does what Mike McCarthy does, Peter. Blows games.
yeah, I mean, it was only a matter of time, I guess. I mean, Dak Prescott looked lost. I think he literally looks lost since he came back from injury. I don't think Elliott's gonna come back. I don't think they have urgency. Like CeeDee Lamb was a beast, but like that's about it. But I mean, the Packers, they had to win this game. If this is like the best spot they're probably in. They still don't have a receiver. I don't care if Christian Watson gets 3 touchdowns. I really don't. Like, that's an OBJ spot for sure, right? Like, he's not going to the Cowboys anymore. I wouldn't go there.
I don't think he's going to the Packers because he wants to win a Super Bowl. He wants to compete. And despite the fact that the Packers stayed alive with this win, they're a fringe playoff team at best. I think Odell wants to go to a serious contender, which is, I don't know if you consider Dallas, but what, San Francisco, Kansas City, Buffalo, something like that. I don't think and here's the thing. If he goes to those teams, he's a complimentary piece. He's not like the guy. If he goes to Green Bay, he's the guy. And I don't think he necessarily wants that. Coming off that major injury, I think he made his money with the Rams being a complementary piece to Cooper Kupp in that offense. And I think he would do the same thing with like Stephon Diggs in Buffalo, Travis Kelce in Kansas City, Deebo Samuel in San Fran, something like that. If he goes to Green Bay, he's the guy, like the guy. Pressure's on his shoulders, dealing with Aaron Rodgers, who 38-year-old Aaron Rodgers is cranky, as I would call him cranky at this point in his career.
That's an understatement. But
Yeah. So that's what I think on the Odell sweepstakes. But this was a game that the Cowboys, I think they're going to eventually kick themselves at the end of the year because they're in a real dogfight in the NFC East. Despite the fact that the Eagles lost, the Giants continue to win. The Commanders are staying afloat. And I don't know, like I understand they had that good run with Cooper Rush where they were able to stay afloat and get some W's tied together, but this was a game. You're up by 14. I know you're on the road and it's Lambeau Field, and I get all that, but this was such a win they could have easily had. CeeDee Lamb had his best game of the season. He had his way with that Packers defense. I think he had 10 catches for 135 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was awesome in the game. And the Packers secondary had no answer for him whatsoever. And all that with no wins, and I think that's something that if you're a Cowboys fan, you got to be annoyed about.
And then, yeah, I mean, you're facing the Vikings this week. Good luck.
Yes.
And then the Giants. I mean, I don't know how good everybody thinks the Giants are, but they got to be okay on Thanksgiving. And then the best coach of all time, Jeff Saturday. So,
yeah,
good luck.
Exactly. And Peter, that's a good segue to talk about the next game. The Vikings Bills, which in my opinion, Peter, it might have been the best football game I've ever seen in my life. And Peter, you wrote, of course, I mentioned before, you wrote the script for our podcast today, and you perfectly laid out the circumstances for this game. So the Vikings ended up winning this game 33-30 over the Bills in overtime. So this is what happened in the last minute of the fourth quarter, Peter. I'll read you word for word of what you wrote here. Justin Jefferson proves he is not human. So he caught that ridiculous 32-yard one-handed catch on 4th and 18. Before I continue, Peter, is Justin Jefferson the best receiver in the NFL?
I think so. I mean, unless it's Cooper Kupp, but I feel like they both bring different things to their game, I guess.
Yeah.
And maybe Slot is Kupp and Jefferson's most all around. I don't even know who number 2 be. Like
this was my top 3 would be Jefferson 1. I would say Tyreek Hill 2, Cooper Kupp 3. That's how I would do it. But again, I think Justin Jefferson's right up there. I said he'd win the Triple Crown for the receiver position, and he's right there up there competing for sure.
He could for sure. I mean,
yeah.
Tyreek Hill doesn't win it.
That's what I'm saying. But Tyreek Hill is kind of getting in the way with the yards.
Thanks, Tua.
So yeah, all right, Peter. So take you back here. It's 4th and 18. Justin Jefferson catches a ridiculous 32-yard one-handed catch. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's everywhere. Then the Vikings were stuffed at the goal line on a sequence that included a trip by Kirk Cousins and a catch by Jefferson, which was ruled down at the 1-yard line. It was initially ruled a touchdown, but they reviewed it back and it was down at the 1. Then the Vikings, and then an offsides penalty was called, moved the Vikings closer, but they were unable to push Kirk Cousins on a 4th and goal sneak, and it looked like the Bills were going to win, right? All Josh Allen was to do was not allow a touchdown. That's all he had to do. One job. But with 41 seconds left in the game, with the Bills up 27-23, the Vikings smother Josh Allen, who loses the ball in the end zone. The Vikings take a 30-27 lead. All this with 40 seconds left in the game. So then it looked like Minnesota was going to win. Then Gabe Davis, who was awesome in that last drive with 36 seconds left, he had that catch that was ruled a catch, but I don't think it was.
Nobody thought that was.
It wasn't. But however, it was under 2 minutes. You can't challenge it. It set up a Tyler Bass 29-yard field goal to force overtime. So then, look, we're in overtime, right? And Peter, you put this note in, and it's perfect. Should coaches be allowed to challenge in the last 2 minutes?
Yeah, I put
so.
that. Yeah, I put that because Belichick said that.
Yeah, Belichick agrees. So I think so too. We saw this. This was a bad call.
Yeah, I don't know how. I didn't see the sideline, but I didn't know how the Bills coach didn't lose. I mean, the Vikings coach did not lose his mind after that.
Yeah, crazy. But again, you look at the booth in the NFL, and they should have reviewed that, and they didn't.
Yeah, right.
So now we're in overtime, Peter. So this is all in one minute. The Vikings win the toss. They can't get a touchdown. They settle for a field goal. So this leads the Bills an opportunity to win the game in overtime. So no bitching, Josh Allen. You got the ball. You have a chance to win. No bitching, right, Peter? No bitching. So the Bills driving down the field, and it looked like, to me anyway, I thought Josh Allen and the Bills were going to win this game. And Josh Allen throws an interception to Patrick Peterson to end the game. Vikings win it, like I said, 33-30 in overtime. The Vikings somehow are still 8-1. It was a bad loss for the Bills. They lose the division lead in the AFC East at the moment to the Dolphins. And Josh Allen all of a sudden has become a turnover machine in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's your takeaway in the game as a whole?
I mean, you're right. If it's not the Chiefs Bills last year, this might be the best game we've ever seen in our whole life. Well, maybe not, maybe the 28-3, but that's more reasons than just because. But no, this game was the best all the way around, for sure. I mean, but that catch shouldn't have been a catch. It is what it is. And Josh Allen, you get the ball back and you're just throwing picks left and right. I don't know if it's because of his elbow injury. I don't know if it's because he's turning into old Josh Allen and he's getting exposed somehow. But Bills need to wake up though. Like, they're sliding real fast. And how do you have Tua in front of you? Come on, bro.
Be better. But Josh Allen in his last 3 games, has a 58.82 completion percentage. He has 3 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, a quarterback rating of 67.2. He also has a lost fumble in that, and he has had 4 turnovers in the red zone lately. It feels like he's forcing balls. Now, you bring up the elbow, and I think that's something that should be brought up, but I think that elbow's only been a 1-week thing. His turnovers has stemmed even the 2 weeks prior to that.
And he can't be that hurt because, like, the whole fourth quarter, he's just trucking people.
Yeah.
Running over people. Like, I don't get how
he plays so recklessly. Noah of Rough in the Basket, he was a real proponent of Josh Allen being in this game at all. He thought Allen should sit. He thought Buffalo should give him the week off, that his elbow wouldn't be right. And he was shaking the elbow at time after he threw an interception and he made a tackle. He was down on the turf for a couple minutes. So I don't think Allen's right in terms of his health, and I think he's turning the ball over way too much. And on the Viking side of things, we got to give him credit, Peter. I don't want to
no, this is good for your future. This is
good for my futures.
Wait, do you have a ticket?
No, I don't have a ticket.
Oh.
Why'd you even ask that? You know I don't have a ticket.
Yeah, you don't have a ticket. I mean, I don't believe in the Vikings at all. I think that Kirk Cousins is going to turn into a pumpkin. I mean, he tried to give this game away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think Cousins played particularly well. I think Justin Jefferson just stood on his head and won this game. I think Dalvin Cook, he did some things in this game. And I think the Vikings defense, they got the turnovers when they needed them. Patrick Peterson, right? Turning back the clock, couple interceptions. Good for him. But yeah, I still think, look, if the Bills and the Vikings would play each other again, I would take the Bills in that matchup, I think. Unless the Vikings do something to change that. And we've seen the Vikings kind of struggle in these big moments, and they have another one next week when they're hosting the Dallas Cowboys. I think that's a relatively big game for them. And the Vikings they're playing with house money. They're going to be a playoff team. They're going to win the NFC North. And
they can sleep to the NFC North.
Yeah, look, they have 8 wins already. They can sleep to the NFC North title. But can they get it done in the playoffs? Can they win a playoff game against Tom Brady and the Bucs? Can they win a playoff game against Garoppolo and the Niners? Can they win a playoff game against Jalen Hurts and the Eagles? All this stuff is going to come home to roost if you're Kirk Cousins. He can put away his narrative that he can't win in big games this year. Like, that can be put away. If he wins 1 or 2 playoff games, like if they get to the NFC title game, I think the Kirk Cousins is a choke artist. The narrative will slowly start to go away. But also another ticket that might look good. I don't think it's going to come to fruition, but Kevin O'Connell, Coach of the Year.
Yeah, he is at, I was just looking that up. He is at plus 400 right now. He is the second favorite too.
Dable, right? Or Sirianni?
Sirianni plus 100. Dable dropped down to 3 at plus 600. That's not even fair.
I still give Dable the award, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would too.
And I think Pete Carroll is being undervalued.
Pete Carroll plus 1,100.
Yeah, he's not. I don't understand why he isn't valued.
Well, Mike McDaniel plus 750 and Robert Saleh plus 800.
Like I said this last week or the week before, like Seattle legitimately traded their franchise quarterback, blew up the team. They cut that linebacker. What's his name? I get space in the middle linebacker, Bobby Wagner. Like, they moved on from all their pieces. Chris Carson retired in the offseason. Like, they're on their 4th string running back. Like, I understand DK is still there and Lockett and all that, but Geno Smith has basically been out of the league since 2014. Like, this was this first year being a starting quarterback since 2014. And they're above 500, and they're currently leading the NFC West. I don't know. Call me crazy.
He is co-favorites now, Geno Smith, for comeback player of the year.
With who?
Barkley, obviously.
Oh, yeah, Barkley. I think Barkley probably gets the nut. That's close, though.
I don't know.
It's close.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, it's close. All right, Peter. But yeah, one of the best games that I've ever seen personally. Now, last game I want to get to the Commanders Eagles. The Commanders on Monday Night Football beat the Eagles, and the Eagles are no longer undefeated. Commanders won that game 32-20, 32-21. And again, this was a sequence of a sequence in the fourth quarter of some pretty crazy events. Peter, I'm just going to go quickly here to highlight it. Washington hit a crazy 55-yard field goal to take a 5-point lead. Jalen Hurts and company were not able to execute a drive in the fourth quarter to give them the lead. The Commanders got the ball back, and all they needed was a first down to ice the game. They weren't able to get that at first. And it looked like the Eagles were going to get the ball back, but Taylor Heineke dropped back to throw. And Brandon Graham came in late after Taylor Heineke kind of took a knee, giving himself up in the play. They threw a flag, and the Commanders ended up winning the game 32-21. And then the Commanders got a touchdown at the end after the lateral plays. But it was 26-21 for the longest time. And so I think the main story is, should the flag have been thrown on that Taylor Heineke roughing the passer penalty?
More of that. I mean, it is called. It is what it is. If you don't agree with it, I mean, that's just how the game is called. But should talk about the Dallas Goedert face mask call. I don't get how refs look that right in the there's one on the sideline. They look that right in the face, and then they just don't throw the flag. I don't get that at all. People are asking for everything to be reviewed. I think that's a little too far.
Yeah, I agree. Because that's like going back to review the pass interference, and that didn't work. So
I think it'll just take too long. People are just gonna challenge the challenge, I guess.
No, you're right. You're right, and that stuff isn't going to happen. But I think the Eagles are no longer undefeated. They are not going to finish the season undefeated. Not that I'm surprised or anything like that. I've been picking against the Eagles for a couple of weeks. I've been waiting for this, and it finally came home to roost. So, Peter, if you're the Commanders and Ron Rivera, you finally have some life. Do you roll with Taylor Heineke or Carson Wentz?
No, I keep the train going. Taylor Heineke, I mean, he did cover versus the Bucs whenever he started. Oh, when was that, 2 years ago?
Oh, in the wild card game, yes.
Yeah, so just keep it going. I mean, don't mess it up. Chase Young is returning this week, I think.
Yes, he is.
So you got everything back. Keep it going. I mean, not nice. I called them the worst team 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, I picked them under for win total, but tell you what, it was all with Carson Wentz as a starter.
Yeah, fair. That's another bet. It's a terrible trade.
Yeah, honestly, the whole Carson Wentz experiment, I think it's just completely done. Taylor Heineke, look, I understand it's the Colts, but he orchestrated a 2-minute drive to beat the Colts.
Did they draft somebody?
Washington? They drafted Sam Howell in the 5th round. Sam Howell was somebody Brandon Carr of Roughing the Basket was high on, but he ended up falling in the draft quite a bit, so I'm not sure if he's ever going to get his opportunity here. But Taylor Heineke provides a spark. It's not always pretty sometimes, and sometimes it's a little lightning in the bottle, but whatever you want to call it, Washington they're in the hunt for a playoff spot at this point, and if Heineke can get them a couple more wins, who knows? And I think they need to ride with him. Carson Wentz is just not that guy. He's just not, and I don't really care. I've been off of the Carson Wentz bandwagon for a long time now, and I personally just can't see Ron Rivera going back to Carson Wentz at this point.
Yeah, unless Taylor Heineke gets injured, obviously, but I don't see that either. I'll just roll with them. I mean, see what you got. See if you have to sign somebody, draft somebody.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing that was really talked about in the offseason was, well, Carson Wentz is making $30 million. Taylor Heineke is making $2 million. And Heineke was like, yeah, they're not going to start me. And he was right. He was absolutely correct. So I would agree with you. I would start Heineke. All right, Peter, want to get into our picks?
Let's do it.
All right, you want to lead off?
Yeah, I'll do it. I have Pats -3 first game versus the Jets at home. Please don't curse the Patriots, Jason, when you go to the game. But I mean, we saw this game, 2 weeks ago? Bill Belichick off a bye. The Jets off a bye too. But until Zach Wilson can actually show me that he can not even beat Bill Belichick, but be confident versus Bill Belichick, I'll just pick the Pats. This is a key game for both teams, though.
Oh, this is a big game in the AFC, as it is, and tell you what, for both sides, however you want to slice it, it's a big game.
I don't believe in the Pats making the playoffs. I really don't, especially with everybody at the top. But if you want to make the playoffs, you beat the Jets. And
I will say the winner of this game might end up being a playoff team.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be. It could come down to that. My first pick, Peter. I'm going to go with the Bears +3. Look, when you look at the Bears, I understand they lost and they screwed you last week, losing by a point. But I know they're going to Atlanta, but Atlanta seems to be finally hitting that struggling point at this time. They didn't look great on Thursday Night Football last week. Marcus Mariota might have had his worst game of the season. And I think the Bears can do enough in that offense. I like the Bears +3 in a shootout.
Yeah, I do as well. That's my premium pick of the week. I mean, maybe it's just as simple as bet the Bears when they're underdogs and don't bet the Bears when they're favorites. I think the Justin Fields magic will come back to life after this week, but it is what it is. I think the Falcons should make a quarterback change, though.
So you would go with Desmond Riddler?
Yeah, eventually. It's going to happen.
Yeah, so they asked Arthur Smith about it, and he's not ready to do that yet. But if Mariota does not perform well this week, then it could happen. But I do think Atlanta is still they're still in the hunt. You know what I mean? Especially with that division being that bad. I understand. Like, are they going to do it? Probably not. But they technically still have a shot. So I think that's why they're going to roll with Mariota. My second pick, Peter. This is my premium pick of the week. Bills -8.5 against the Cleveland Browns. I think the Browns are swirling out of control. I think Kevin Stefanski could be on the hot seat. They're going into Buffalo. Cleveland just got waxed by Miami. I think this is a bounce back spot for the Bills. They take care of business by double digits in this game. It's my premium pick of the week. And I think Josh Allen doesn't turn the ball over as much. And I think the Bills are pretty pissed they lost against the Vikings. So I like the Bills here by double digits.
But you think Stefanski is going to get fired?
I think there's a real shot. Yeah, I think he's lost that team. I really do.
Oh, wow.
Because
I thought he would get a free pass.
You could. A lot of people did, but I think it's getting really ugly. It's not like they're just losing games; they're getting their ass kicked in a lot of these games. And I understand they beat the Bengals on that Monday night game, and that was a big win for them. But no, I think Stefanski. I'm not saying he's going to get fired, but I think he is on notice, especially if they come out struggling when Watson comes back, which is in a couple weeks.
That's probably going to happen, though. Watson hasn't played.
I agree, but Stefanski, he's going to struggle in 2 consecutive years now. I know he had that good year and he made the playoffs, won a game in 2020, but last year Cleveland didn't make the playoffs, and then Baker Mayfield deteriorated there, and Cleveland sits now at 3-6, heading into Buffalo.
All right, my next pick, I have the under 41.5 to the worst game probably on the whole slate. Broncos Raiders. As I said before, that's a loser leaves town. Like, I don't even care. I was high on the Broncos last week. The whole Titans defense was out. I thought Russell Wilson off a bye. I thought the offense was going to get rejuvenated. But no, he killed Jerry Jeudy. Thank you. But it is what it is. So I don't care who wins. For your sanity, I hope the Raiders win, but it's not going to touch 41.5.
Yeah, for my sanity, right? Who knows how that's going to even take. Who even knows? I almost picked that, and I was like, I'm not even going to touch that game. My next one, Giants -3. Giants are at home against the Detroit Lions this week, and I understand the Lions coming off a nice victory, but I'm not a buyer in that Lions defense, and I think Brian Daboll continues his road of winning, and I think the Giants win this game -3 Giants.
Barkley is going to run for like 300 yards.
Yep.
Yikes. All right, next pick, I have the 49ers -8 in Mexico City versus probably Kyler. I don't know if he's done playing COD. I think that Colt McCoy is going to start. That's why I picked the 49ers -8.
All right, my next pick, I'm going to go with the Cowboys -1 against the Vikings. I'm picking against the Vikings, Peter. Cowboys coming off a really bad loss. Vikings coming off of a really intense win in overtime. And I think the Cowboys, a good bounce back for them. I know they're on the road, but I think they get it done this week. Cowboys -1.
And my last pick, this is the last time I'm going to pick them unless they help me out. This is the last time I'm even going to be high on them. And Chargers +7, it's in a must-win game versus the Chiefs. I think he might get one, maybe even both, Mike Williams and Keenan Allen back. So they should be close to as full strength as they were in the beginning of the season. But it's literally win now or don't make the playoffs for the Chargers.
In my last pick, I'm going to go with the under in that game. Total is set at 50. I just don't think that Chargers offense is really up to par at this point in time. And I think the Chiefs, who Juju Smith-Schuster got hurt in the game, and I don't think the Chiefs is necessarily, their offense is like as dynamic as years past. 50 is a lot of points, and I like the under in this game. Under 50.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire got absolutely exiled though.
Yeah, right. I think he had one catch for no receiving yards or something.
Yeah,
he was
he
on
had
the
like
field.
4 snaps.
Yeah. Yep. So I guess they like Pacheco and McKinnon. So that backfield is full of question marks. So,
So
all right,
like
Peter.
nobody can run the ball. Like, nobody.
I tell you what, the theme of this year's
Pretty
NFL,
fun.
every offensive line sucks. Like every offensive line sucks, and every run game is like indifferent. Like it's like, oh, like you're the really good running team or you're a really shitty running team.
Yeah, there's no like middle.
No, exactly. Weird NFL year, Peter. Weird NFL year. So next week, Peter, we can get in a playoff picture. How's that sound?
Let's do
The
it
NFL.
for sure. Hopefully the Dolphins are in first place, but they might
Oh,
win that division just out of spite.
So they have a bye week this week. So if Buffalo wins, so Buffalo would be number one in the AFC East, right? At that point, because they have more wins.
No, because the Dolphins beat them, didn't they?
Yes. So how many? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Never mind.
There you go, Matt. Suck on that.
All right, Peter. So let's do something a little bit different. We don't really get into soccer much on this podcast, but the World Cup is on Monday. Finally, right? It's in Qatar. World Cup's a huge global event. I'm a soccer guy. I enjoy it. And yeah, so me and Peter thought it'd be a good idea to throw in some soccer to this episode, a little World Cup preview. We're going to talk about each group. We're going to pick our group winners. We're going to talk about who's going to win the Golden Glove, the Golden Ball, and then who's going to make the final, who's going to win the World Cup. So we're going to do our absolute best. Peter's going to be ready to give his.
Oh, if you think my college football takes are good, you've seen nothing yet.
Oh, I don't even want to see these pronunciations. Oh, goodness gracious.
To be fair, though, my college football takes are so bad that I probably curse Alabama to not even going to make the playoffs this year.
You did. But I will say Marvin Harrison Sr. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a stud. You nailed that one. All right, Peter. So let's talk, right? So the World Cup is in Qatar. And so again, if you're not as familiar with soccer, they have Group A, Group B, Group C, D, E, F, G, H, right? All groups filled with 4 teams, 2 advance to the round of 16, and then so on. So it's a global tournament, like I said. So let's start with Group A: Qatar, Ecuador, Senegal, and the Netherlands. So Peter, I'll read you the odds about who is going to win Group A. The Netherlands are favored at -280, followed by Senegal at +450, Ecuador at +500, and then the host country Qatar at +1,000. So Peter, who wins Group A?
Isn't that disrespect to Qatar? Like, holy crap!
I mean, I will say the reason Qatar is in it and stuff like that is if you're a host country, you're automatically in.
Oh, that's good to know. I mean, I'm gonna pick. I'll pick the Netherlands. I'll pick chalk for this one.
Good pick, Peter. Good pick. I was thinking I thought you for sure you're gonna pick Senegal. I like the Netherlands too at -280. I think this group is probably gonna be a layup for the Dutch. Absolutely. All right, moving. Group B, Peter. England, Wales, Iran, and the U.S. So this is a really interesting group. So I think Group B is a group in which if you're a casual soccer fan, you're going to recognize a lot of players. Gareth Bale, of course, is Wales. England, Harry Kane. USA, of course, there's a lot of guys there. Matt Turner, Christian Pulisic. Like there's a lot of names. So I'll read you the odds. England is favored at -280. Then the U.S. and Wales are at +500, and then Iran is at +1,600. Peter, who you got in Group B?
So I will tell you for sure it's not the U.S. because this ain't the U.S. women's team. But I'm gonna pick Wales because I actually know who Christian Bale is.
Who you picking? Wales. Interesting. Peter, I think the U.S. is going to be pretty good this year. I do, but I'm not going to pick them to win Group B.
No way. They're not that good, are they?
I think this year, I think they have some. I'll tell you what, I think they'll be the second team in Group B. I think they move on. I like England. I'm picking chalk here at -280. I think they're a safe bet. I think Harry Kane and company gets the job done in Group B. But I think this is going to be a fun one because Wales will make some noise. All right, Peter, let's move on to Group C. This one, again, has a name that everyone's familiar with. Argentina, of course. Leo Messi plays for Argentina. So we have Argentina, Mexico, Poland, and Saudi Arabia. Argentina is favored at -250. Poland at +400. Mexico at +450. And then Saudi Arabia at +2,200.
So, I mean, don't get mad, but I think Messi is better than Ronaldo. So I'm going to pick Argentina. I think he's the best player in the world. But don't sleep on Poland, okay?
I agree. Don't sleep on Poland.
They got their story. They got all the momentum. I think they're gonna. Well, I mean, prayers up to Poland. I mean, Russia killed 2 people on Tuesday.
So you're just picking them because of the.
Yeah, no, but I'll pick Argentina to win because of
Okay.
Messi.
I agree with you, Peter. I'm gonna go Argentina minus 250, but I agree with you. Poland, don't sleep on Poland at plus 400. But this is Messi's last World Cup. They're gonna rally around him. I think he wins.
Oh, really? Is he retiring?
So World Cups every 4 years. So Messi is, I think, 36 right now. And he's already announced this is his last World Cup. He's 35 right now. So he officially announced this is his last
How old's
World Cup.
Ronaldo?
He's older. I believe he's 37. But Ronaldo has not said this is his last World Cup. But it's likely. But I think Ronaldo might end up. If Ronaldo might end up playing another one, he has a shot. So we'll see. All right, Group D, Peter. This is one I think a lot of people are probably going to pick chalk, but we'll see. France is favored in Group D at minus 225. Then it is Denmark at plus 225, and then Tunisia is that did I pronounce that right? Tunisia, right? I think so.
Oh, you're just like your brother. It's Tanzania.
It's Tanzania.
Yeah. Your brother did that too. Must be the
Did
same
he?
pronunciation in the Pombo household.
I guess so. Tanzania at plus 1600, and then Australia at plus 2500. Peter, who you got here in Group D?
Yeah, I'll be France. I mean, when in doubt, pick a European team. I don't know if
Denmark's in Europe.
Yeah, but I don't know if Denmark's any good. I've heard of a few French players. I'll tell you for certain it is not going to be Australia. Like, what are they doing?
I agree with you. I'm taking France. I'm taking France in this. All right, Peter, moving on to Group E. All right, Peter, Group E is, this one's a little bit, I think this one's a little bit tougher in my opinion. So Spain is favored to win this group at minus 115, followed by Germany at plus 115, then Japan at plus 1,000, and Costa Rica at plus 5,000. Who you got?
So Germany's won like 3 years ago, or
3 World Cups ago?
yeah.
Yes.
Like
Germany's
they're usually pretty good. I mean, I'll pick Germany plus 115. I don't know how good Spain. Spain's probably pretty good though.
I'm taking Germany. I agree with you. Germany's been on a little bit of a low the last like 4 to 6 years, but I think they come out of it. I like them here. All right, Group F. This one, Peter. Ooh, I'm ready for your pick here. Belgium is favored at minus 190, followed by Croatia plus 200, then Morocco plus 850, and then Canada plus 1,000.
Well, I don't want to pick chalk, and I don't want to pick the coldest country in the world, so I'm gonna pick Morocco because it's a Morocco and it's gonna be fun. No, why? You want me to pick Canada? I'm not. Canada.
I thought you were gonna pick Canada. I'm taking Belgium at 190. Belgium's a wagon. Don't sleep on Belgium. That's all I'm saying.
I hope we get free waffles if they win. Holy crap, that'd be cool.
Group G, Peter, coming towards the end here. Brazil is favored at minus 300, followed by Switzerland at plus 550, Serbia plus 650, and then Cameroon plus 1,200.
So this will go into another pick of mine later, but since Brazil won last year,
4 years ago. And did they win 4 years ago?
I thought they made the final or something. They were pretty good.
They were.
There's no way I just pulled that.
No, France won. Yeah, France beat Croatia. Yeah.
Oh well, they're pretty good. Well, Brazil won in my heart, so I'm gonna pick Brazil.
All right, boom. All right, last but not least, Peter. This one we have a lot of rooting interest for this one. Me and you both. Group H, Portugal is favored at minus 145, Uruguay at plus 185, Ghana at plus 1,000, and South Korea at plus 1,100.
What disrespect to South Korea. All right, listen, it's going to be Portugal minus 145.
Oh,
they have Ronaldo.
shocked.
No, I mean, out of principle, I'll pick South Korea plus 1,100. Do they have any chance to beat Uruguay as a second spot?
If you're drafting the teams, right, you're drafting. There's a player on South Korea that you might pick like second or third overall. Like they have one really good player.
Oh, nice. Because like obviously they're good at baseball, but I don't think they're good at anything else.
Yeah, they have this really good player. So who you picking? You picking South Korea for fun?
Yeah, just
for the meme.
Yeah, but
right,
obviously Ronaldo is Ronaldo. So
I'm taking Portugal, but I'm afraid of Uruguay.
Oh, sure. Oh, really?
Yeah, I am afraid of Uruguay. Uruguay scares the hell out of me. Uruguay knocked them out of the World Cup in 2000. What year was it? 18. Uruguay's scares me. That team.
So does Portugal play South Korea at all?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're in their group, so they're gonna play each team from their group.
Oh, nice. We're gonna get beef whenever.
Portugal's first game is on Thanksgiving at 11 a.m. against Ghana, I believe.
Wow.
Yep. So get ready for it, Peter.
Pombo household. You're gonna have some turkey. You're gonna
Oh,
have
Peter,
some
it's a great
sausage.
it's a great day. And the Pats play at night.
Oh, they do. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, that parlay, Peter. There it is. Writes itself. All right, so let's talk a little bit about player awards. Specifically, let's start off with Peter, an award called the Golden Ball. It's awarded to the best player. So whoever is the best player, not necessarily the leading goal scorer, but the best player. So who you got, Peter?
So I'm high in Brazil. So and I actually know who this is. So I'm gonna pick Neymar at plus 900. As a
Oh,
caveat, I did not want to pick Messi, and I did not want to pick Ronaldo.
that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I can't really hate on you there. All right, Peter. I'm gonna go with Harry Kane at plus 1,600. He's somebody that I feels like he's on the world stage, and I think he's gonna really take advantage here. I like him at plus 1,600.
I like to retract my pick.
The who?
I like to retract my pick. I'm picking Gabriel Jesus. You can't go against Jesus. Come on, plus 3,500. Is he even good?
I mean, Peter. So, what team did you say is the team you're going with? I believe he's Brazil.
Yeah, I'm
he plays
high
for
in Brazil.
Brazil.
Oh, nice. So Neymar and Jesus.
So
What?
who wins that award? Neymar, but
No, I'll retract that. I'm picking Jesus.
okay. All right, so moving on to the Golden Glove, which is awarded to the best goalie of the tournament. Who you got, Peter?
Oh, all right. So this isn't like a goal scorer, so I can't fake my way, and I'm not picking chalk. So let's see. I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pick Woj. Woj.
Woj.
Yeah, Woj is in the tournament, I guess. Plus 6,500. Woj Sikansky
Where am I looking here?
as the Golden Glove.
I see.
I'll pick you, Woj.
I think he is. I'm not even sure what country, Peter. We'll find out together. He is the goalie for Poland, right?
Give me. Hell yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, right at Peter. Right. You think Poland's gonna make some noise? Roll
Who's
with it.
Diego Costa? I actually might know who that is.
He's an older goalie. He's been around for a bit.
All right, that's probably how. Okay.
All right, I am gonna go with Manel Neuer. He's somebody that you probably have heard his name out there in Germany at plus 900. I'm going with him.
Who's Allison and Ederson that doesn't have their last names? What's up with that?
So sometimes in like countries like Brazil and stuff, they go by like one name,
Fair.
stuff like that. All right, Peter, and the last award that we are gonna get to is the top goal scorer. So who you got?
This I'm gonna just make you happy. I'm gonna pick Ronaldo plus 1,600.
Wow, thanks, man. I'm gonna go with Lukaku, who is plus 2,200 from Belgium.
Wow, you're not picking Ronaldo?
No, I'm not. I'm picking Lukaku at plus 2,200.
Who's he?
All right.
Anybody from?
Belgium.
Oh.
All right, Peter. So who wins the 2022 World Cup?
All right, let's see. It's not gonna be the USA, and it's not gonna be England. Should I just pick? Oh, what is that? South Korea is not even on this list. That's uncool. I was gonna do that out of spite, but I'm gonna pick Poland wherever they are, unless they're not even on this list.
No, they're on it. Poland is plus 15,000.
15. All right. Yeah, I'll pick Poland, I guess.
All righty. I'm gonna go with Peter. I mean, I think about going chalk here, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna go England plus 850. I think the English finally get the W here.
So
And they've been known to be chokers for a long time. So
you're not gonna pick Portugal, huh?
I'm not. No.
Are you gonna bet that though?
Bet who?
Portugal, just out of principle.
I might. I get a week to.
That's some decent odds, I guess.
Yeah, it is some decent odds, but I mean, I don't know. We'll see where the team is at. I mean, 2016 they won the European title. I don't know if they're going to be able to win the World Cup here. We'll see.
All right, so Korea faces Portugal on December 2nd. Oh, that's a Jason, that's a Friday at 8 p.m. So like,
I don't think it's 8 p.m. 8 p.m. in Qatar, dude. I think
8 p.m. Oh wait, is that ET?
Yeah, I think it's at like 2 p.m. here.
Oh, all right, never mind.
Yeah, sorry, Peter.
Oh well, that's our soccer segment.
Oh well, that's our soccer. All right, Peter. 5 questions not about football. Is it my turn? Your turn? Whose turn is it?
It doesn't matter. I have some questions, but you can go if you want to.
Okay, I had a question sent in by a fan.
Oh, all right then.
I got to pull it up from Dylan.
Why do
you
hate Tua so much?
No, this is from Dylan of Cheap Talk Wrestling. All right, Peter. So this is a question Dylan saw on TikTok. He says, "What NBA franchise has the lowest winning percentage of all time?"
Oh, this is like trivia.
Yeah, it's what he had. Yeah, this is his question.
So, is this like
NBA.
of all time?
Yes.
All right, let's see. I'm gonna go with like the Orlando Magic or something.
Ooh, no.
No?
That's a good guess though. So when he originally asked me this, my original guess was the Sacramento Kings, and that wasn't the right answer either. The right answer is the Minnesota Timberwolves.
I was trying to think of who's the newest
The
thing.
Timberwolves have been around since 1990. Yeah, 1989, 1990, but still, like, you forget how bad they were, even when Kevin Garnett was there. And that was a good question sent in by Dylan. I got to give Dylan the shout out on that one. All right, Peter. So question 2. So Michigan State and Gonzaga. So on November 11th for Veterans Day, they played They played for the Armed Forces Classic, right? And on the Armed Forces Classic, right? Because of Veterans Day, they played the game legitimately, practically like in the water on like an army base sort of thing, on a naval base, I should say. It was on an aircraft carrier for the United States Navy. There was the fans were 3,500 sailors, and it was a cool environment. Peter, I don't know if you're looking at pictures or what, but
Yeah, that's so cool. I've never seen that before.
okay, so let's stick to college basketball. Where do you think would be a super cool place to host a game like that, of that magnitude, or something like that? Something different. Don't say like
The
gym.
moon? I don't. That's actually. Can you do that? No, because that was a
I don't know.
boat. Right?
Get funky. Who knows?
Can you do it like on a cruise ship?
Yeah, but that's kind of what they just did.
Yeah. I'll give you a good answer. And let me go back to that. I'll think of
Okay. Okay. All right. Question 3, Peter. What is your favorite sea animal?
it. Sea animal, the blue whale.
Why?
Oh, you know why. Simple as that. You know why. You know how much stuff it produces? Oh, yeah.
Good one, Peter. Very, very clever. All right. Question 4,
That's a
Peter.
Bo Sox question right there. That's a Bo Sox answer, actually.
Did I steal it from Bo Sox? I didn't
No,
mean
that's
to.
a Bo Sox answer right there.
Okay. Question 4, Peter. The Walking Dead reached its pretty much its end, right? I don't think I've asked you this question before, but if you were directing the Walking Dead movies, right? So they're doing movies, right?
They're not doing movies.
They're not doing movies?
No, Rick's getting a show now with Michelle.
Okay, well, pretend they're doing a movie and you were cast to direct it. What is the plot?
Would it be after the show?
Yeah, it's your movie.
So, assuming that, like, wait, is it gonna be after the spinoff?
You tell me, you're the director.
All right, so Daryl's gonna help someone try to get Rick back, probably Michonne, and then I gotta kill off Carol somehow. I hope she dies on Sunday. I really do. I think it's just gonna be just where Rick went.
So that's the plot of it, where Rick Grimes goes.
Yeah,
Or where is he going, I should say.
is where did Michonne go, and
That's cool.
or you can do a
Okay.
whole spin-off of how Daryl wakes up in stupid Europe. Stupid.
He's in Europe now?
The spin-off show is gonna be in Europe. Yeah,
How do you get to Europe?
I don't know.
Interesting.
With no airplanes and no boats. No
Interesting.
idea.
Okay, Peter. Whatever then. All right. Question 5 and the final question, Peter. We're gonna go to the NBA. I feel like I've asked you a lot of Lakers and Nets questions, Peter, recently, so I'm gonna go just a little bit different here. So the Celtics right now, they currently, as we record this, have the best record in the Eastern Conference. Right, they sit at 11-3, and the Bruins have the best record right now in hockey. Which team is more likely to win their title in their respected sports, the Bruins or the Celtics?
So it's probably the Celtics because I think they have more star power up top. I know the Bruins have Marchand and stuff, but there was no expectations for this team like at all, and they have the best record in hockey and they're perfect at home, assuming that everything goes well.
I also think that the Celtics, benefit from, like you said, the star power, and I think the sport itself. It's superstar driven. The NHL, I don't want to say it's more of like a crapshoot, but it's more
Yeah, that's why
wide
hockey
open.
playoffs are the best. Anything can happen.
All right,
Fun
Peter.
fact: I'm going to the game on Saturday,
Nice.
and I'm pretty sure that's the next time they play at home. So if they lose at home, you know what?
Yeah, they haven't lost at home, right? They're 9-0 at home.
Yeah, they're 9-0. They're 11-1 in general.
Damn. Look at that, huh?
Yeah,
Right.
good old Boston. Patriots are in the playoffs. The Bruins are in first place. The Celtics are in first place. And the Red Sox are going to let go of both of their players. Nice.
All right, Peter. So another great week here. So next week, and we can talk a little about the World Cup. We can get into NFL playoff scenarios because it'll be that time of year. And maybe we'll get some hot stove news and updates on Major League Baseball.
Yeah, right. But go Korea, everyone. Stay hot.